ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ अष्टाविंशोऽध्यायः। We have to chant today the 28th chapter, 11th skandha. In fact, we are doing the study also of the same chapter. Chant it. Shri Bhagavanuvach परस्वभावकर्माणि न प्रशंसेत न गर्हयेत विश्वमेकात्मकं पश्यन् प्रकृत्या पुरुषेण च परस्वभावकर्माणि यः प्रशंसति निन्दते स आशुभ्रश्यते स्वार्थात् असत्याभिनिवेशतः तैजसे निद्रयापन्ने पिण्डस्थो नष्टचेतनः मायां प्राप्नोति मृत्युं वा तद्वन्नानार्थदृक्पुमान् किं भद्रं किमभद्रं वा द्वैतस्यावस्तुनः कियतो वाचोदितं तद् अनृतं मनसाध्यातमेव च छाया प्रत्याह्वया भासा ह्यसन्तोऽप्यर्थकारिणः एवं देहादयो भावाः यच्छन्त्या मृत्युतो भयम् आत्मैव तद् इदं विश्वं सृज्यते सृजति प्रभुः त्रायते त्राति विश्वात्मा ह्रियते हरतीश्वरः तस्मान्न ह्यात्मनोऽन्यस्मात् अन्यो भावो निरूपितः निरूपितेयं त्रिविधा निर्मूला भातिरात्मनि इदं गुणमयं विद्धि त्रिविधं मायया कृतम् एतत् विद्वान् मदुदितं ज्ञानविज्ञाननैपुणं न निन्दति न च स्तौति लोके चरति सूर्यवत् प्रत्यक्षेणानुमानेन निगमेनात्मसंविदा आद्यन्तवद् असत् ज्ञात्वा निस्सङ्गो विचरेत् इह उद्धव उवाच नैवात्मनो न देहस्य संसृतिर्द्रष्टृदृश्ययोः अनात्मस्वदृशोरीश कस्य स्याद् उपलभ्यते आत्मा व्ययो गुणः शुद्धः स्वयं ज्योतिरनावृतः अग्निवद्दारुवतचित् देहः कस्येह संस्तुतिः श्रीभगवानुवाच यावद्देहेन्द्रियप्राणैः आत्मनः सन्निकर्षणं संसारः फलवांस्तावत् अपार्थोऽप्यविवेकिनः अर्थे ह्यविद्यमानेऽपि संसृतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयान् अस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा यथा हि अप्रतिबुद्धस्य प्रस्वापो बह्वनर्थभृतु स एव प्रतिबुद्धस्य न वै मोहाय कल्पते शोकहर्षभयक्रोध लोभमोहस्पृहादयः अहङ्कारस्य दृश्यन्ते जन्म मृत्युश्च नात्मनः देहेन्द्रियप्राणमनोभिमानः जीवोऽन्तरात्मा गुणकर्ममूर्तिः सूत्रं महानित्युरुधेव गीतः संसार आधावति कालतन्त्रः आमूलमे अमूलमे तद्बहुरूपरूपितं मनोवचः प्राणशरीरकर्म ज्ञानासिनोपासनयाशितेन छित्त्वा मुनिर्गां विचरत्यतृष्णः ज्ञानं विवेको निगमस्तपश्च प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यमथानुमानम् आद्यन्तयोरस्य यदेव केवलम् कालश्च हेतुश्च तदेव मध्ये यथा हिरण्यं सुकृतं पुरस्तात् पश्चाच्च सर्वस्य हिरण्मयस्य तदेव मध्ये व्यवहार्यमाणं नानावदेशैरहमस्य तद्वतो विज्ञानमेतत्त्रियवस्थमङ्ग गुणत्रयं कारणकार्यकर्तृ समन्वयेन व्यतिरेकतश्च येनैव तुर्येण तदेव सत्यं न यत्पुरस्तादुत यन्न पश्चात् मध्ये विदन्न व्यपदेशमात्रं भूतं प्रसिद्धं च परेण यद्यत् तदेव तत् स्यात् इति मे मनीषा अविद्यमानोऽपि अवभासते यः वैकारिको राजससर्ग एषः ब्रह्म स्वयं ज्योतिरतो विभाति ब्रह्मेन्द्रियार्थात्मविकारचित्रम् एवं स्फुटं ब्रह्म विवेकहेतुभिः परापवादेन विशारदेन छित्त्वात्मसन्देहमुपारमेत स्वानन्दतुष्टो अखिलकामुकेभ्यः नात्मा वपुः पार्थिवमिन्द्रियाणि देवाह्यसुर्वायुजलं हुताशः मनोन्नमात्रं धिषणा च सत्त्वम् अहङ्कृतिखं क्षितिरर्थसाम्यं समाहितैः कः करणैर्गुणात्मभिः गुणो भवेन्मत् सुविविक्तधाम्नः विक्षिप्यमाणैरुत किं नु दूषणं घनैरुपेतैर्विगतैरवेः किं यथा नभो वायुवनलाम्बुभूगुणैः गतागतैर्वर्तु गुणैर्न सज्जते तथाक्षरं सत्त्वरजस्तमोमलैः अहं मतेः संस्तुतिहेतुभिः परं तथा विसङ्गः परिवर्जनीयः गुणेषु मायारचितेषु तावत् मद्भक्तियोगेन दृढेन यावत् रजो निरस्येत मनः कषायः यथा मयो साधु चिकित्सितो नृणां पुनः पुनः सन्तुदति प्ररोहन् एवं मनोपक्वकषाय कर्म कुयोगिनां विद्यति सर्वसङ्गं कुयोगिनो ये विहितान्तरायैः मनुष्यभूतैस्त्रिदशोपसृष्टैः ते प्राक्तनाभ्यासबलेन भूयः युञ्जन्ति योगं न तु कर्मतन्त्रं करोति कर्म क्रियते च जन्तुः येनाप्यसौ चोदित आनिपातात् न तत्र विद्वान् प्रकृतौ स्थितोऽपि निवृत्ततृष्णः स्वसुखानुभूत्या तिष्ठन्तमासेनमुत व्रजन्तं शयानमुक्षन्तमदन्तमन्नं स्वभावमन्यत् किमपीहमानम् आत्मानमात्मस्थमतिर्न वेद यदि स्म पश्यत्यसदिन्द्रियार्थं नानानुमानेन विरुद्धमन्यत् न मन्यते वस्तुतया मनीषी स्वाप्नं यथोत्थाय तिरोदधानं पूर्वं गृहीतं गुणकर्मचित्रम् अज्ञानमात्मन्यविविक्तमङ्गा निवर्तते तत्पुनरीक्षयैव न गृह्यते नापि विसृज्य आत्मा यथा हि भानो हृदयो नृचक्षुषां तमो निहन्यात् न तु सद्विधत्ते एवं समीक्षा निपुणा सती मे हन्यात्तमिस्रं पुरुषस्य बुद्धेः एष स्वयं ज्योतिरजोप्रमेयः मानुभूतिः सकलानुभूतिः एको द्वितीयो वचसां विरामे येनेषिता वागसवश्चरन्ति एतावान् आत्मसम्मोहः यद्विकल्पस्तु केवले आत्मनृते स्वमात्मानम् अवलम्बो न यस्य हि यन्नामाकृतिभिर्ग्राह्यं पञ्चवर्णम् अबाधितं व्यर्थेनाप्यर्थवादोऽयं द्वयं पण्डितमानिनाम योगिनो अवक्वयोगस्य युञ्जतः काय उत्थितैः उपसर्गैर्विहन्येत तत्रायं विहितो विधिः योगधारणया कांश्चित् आसनैर्धारणान्वितैः तपो मन्त्रौषधैः कांश्चित् उपसर्गान् विनिर्दहेत् कांश्चिन्ममानुध्यानेन नाम संकीर्तनादिभिः योगेश्वरानुवृत्त्या वा हन्याद् अशुभदान् शनैः केचित् देहमिमं धीराः सुकल्पं वयसि स्थिरं विधाय विविधोपायैः अथ युञ्जन्ति सिद्धये न हि तत्कुशलाद्धृत्यं तदायासो ह्यपार्थकः अन्तवत्वात् शरीरस्य फलस्येव वनस्पतेः योगं निषेवतो नित्यं कायश्चेत् कल्पतामि यात् तच्छ्रद्धध्यान्नमतिमान् योगमुत्सृज्य मत्परः योगचर्यामिमां योगी विचरन्मदपाश्रयः नान्तरायैर्विहन्येत निःस्पृहः स्वसुखानुभूः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् 11 स्कन्धे 28 ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम श्री भागवत शरणं मम श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम श्री सूत शरणं मम श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम श्री व्यास शरणं मम श्री नारद शरणं मम श्री कुमार शरणं मम श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्री विष्णु शरणं मम श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ओम कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुमिह भक्तिविलासकारी सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबदादरेण लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलनसेवया किं यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोन्धं संसारिणां करुणया पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्यन् रसः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चदकर्हिचित् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् 11 स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ 28 श्री उद्धव उवाच श्री भगवानुवाच wholeheartedly saluting Bhagavan Krishna, Uddhavaji, all the Bhagavata Acharyas, all the Bhagavata Avataras, all the Bhagavata Bhaktas, Shishyas, Jnanis, Sadhakas, Rishis, Munis. And also the Brahma Vidya Acharyas right from Param Brahma himself. Brahma Tattva we salute. To the Shruti Mata we salute. Our own Gotra Rishi Parampara we salute. Our own Gurus who are guiding us, to all of them our humble prostrations. There are 4-5 things. First one, In the outer world, we are caught up, lost in so many of, let us say, the involvements, let us say the duties, let us say the activities, let us say the attractions, let us say the obligations. So many, so many, so many. Inside, we are at the level of our own faculties, absolutely made negative, made impure or rotten, or what do you say, absolutely uncontrolled. Every of the faculty. Third, the thickness of our intellect is so much that we are not able to continuously, constantly, sustainingly focus on what we have to study, what we have to know, what we have to do. Fourth problem is the truth itself is so deep, so sublime. The depth and sublime of the truth or the self or reality is because of the earlier three problems. Because of my too much of extrovertedness, bahirmukata, for whatever the reason, because of the uncontrolled faculties, for whatever the reason, because of the thickness of the intellect, not able to pierce, for whatever the reason. We can add the fourth one because of the n number of the vasanas that are collected by us from millions of lives, knowingly or unknowingly. These four, the fifth one is what? The because of these four, the self appears to be so difficult, impossible to comprehend, to understand, to clearly know what is its nature, where it stays, how to catch it, all that. However, even though as a spiritual seeker we have these five problems, a non spiritual seeker has none of these problems. His problems are only in the world, how to compete and defeat others, how to develop one's own skills of all levels and perform to succeed more and more. So, the non spiritual person's life is only artha and kama, in that only he struggles problems. Some of them may struggle to perform dharma because of inner and outer variety of compulsions. They are all not spiritual seekers. Only the moksha purusharthi is the adhyatmika sadhaka. And I am a moksha purusharthi, adhyatmika sadhaka. To come to this identity itself is a evolution of many, many lives. How it happens, why it happens, we don't know, but it happens. For that person, these five are the problems. Now, however, even though as a spiritual seeker, we have all these problems, yet each of the problem, though very difficult to sort out, though it takes many years and lives, yet we can sort out one by one them slowly, steadily, if we have one thing called as the Shraddha, which you have the people regular who are attending to the class. This simple, this humble, this innocent Shraddha, that कुछ फायदा, कुछ पॉजिटिव होने वाला है, क्या है वो भी ज़्यादा नहीं पता फिलहाल. But that simple innocent heart of Shraddha in our Shastra Dhenam, if it is maintained, and that Shraddha in Shastra Dhenam is expressed through our relentless continuous listening. First is listening, and listening continued till we become independent enough or able enough sufficiently to study the Shastra independently, which is very rare. If somebody gets it, that is uh, that is preceded by many lives of listening from the gurus. So, some 10 lives I heard from my gurus, the Shastra. Then, the 11th life, I become self sufficient or independent enough myself to study Shastra. So, till that time comes with Shraddha, when we go on helping ourselves by listening to Shastra, all these 5, 6 layers or the troubles, problems, slowly they get loosened. And somehow or the other, we start getting the ability, the strengths, the knowledges, all of them to sort out one by one. And it's a huge program, there's no doubt about it. Right? For example, outside in how many things I am lost. Even to analyze that, even to list out that, even to count that itself is a big task, because it is a job of intellect. Mind and senses don't allow the intellect to do this job, because the mind and intellect are happy to get lost in the world. That itself is a huge task. Then, after noting down them, sorting out each of them to come out of those clutches itself is a big job. But hota rahega. When you are being with the Guru, what is the best thing when we are with the Guru and the regular study of Shastra is our want to know the self, our desire to do sadhana, our desire to listen and know the things or have the knowledge that is sustained. The moment we give up the satsanga and the information and conviction or inspiration is lost, because if you don't go to classes, then we are back to our own earlier life, or we are like anyone in the world who are so busy in their own arthakama. For them, the word moksha has no meaning at all. We will also become like that. So the infinite are the problems, therefore infinite are the efforts to be put, therefore the infinite must be the faith. Is it not? And with that faith, you have experimented in last 2.5 years now. With the faith, when you are regularly listening, is it not one by one, little understanding starts to come? You know, when you sow some 100 seeds of tulsi और इतना, तो 10 दिन देखा लगता है कुछ आया ही नहीं. Suddenly on the 11th or 12th day, you can see little of greenness coming. You don't know what it is. But in again next 5 days, you can see little it coming out with two small leaves. See the joy of that one. Now imagine the entire courtyard of yours is filled with all those tulasi plants, fully grown, and the entire house is like a Vrindavanam, or the courtyard is with all beautiful tulasis, protected with respect and reverence. And you can imagine Lord Krishna there, Rukmini there. क्या मजा आता है कि नहीं? In the same way, through the satsanga, we sow the seeds. Slowly, those seeds start becoming one by one, getting sprouted. Then that starts sorting out one by one thing. Only one we have to do is with Shraddha, relentless Shravanam from the Guru. That is why Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam Adaraha Karyaha. स्वाध्याय प्रवचन सर्वैः एतैः युक्तस्यापि स्वाध्याय प्रवचने अनुष्ठेये इति एवं अर्थं प्रदर्शयन् सर्वैः सह स्वाध्याय प्रवचने कथिते. See, we studied morning. Never ever give up this. And also, once we come to this much of consistency to be in the satsang, then look back and come to listen and accept the facts or the truths. The facts and truths are, as morning class also we started with that introduction only. Somehow the Lord is telling us same thing even now. These are the 5 things we have to cross. The outer things, the thought of giving up outer things itself is so frightening. That is what will be explained in each of the shloka of this chapter. Very acutely, very subtly it is indicated. We try to take it out. We try to pull out as much as Lord Guru's bless us. Thoda, Puranam. So too, the thought of controlling our faculties itself is so dangerous. Try to attempt them to control the senses and body and mind. They will revolt and react. ऐसे धमकी दे देंगे. Is it not? Then knowing the thickness of the intellect and putting efforts to quieten that, to make it subtler, how difficult. And the vasanas, how many, every moment also we are gathering with or without our awareness through our imaginary projectory thoughts. Every thought is a vasana. It's becoming. That all has to be arrested. And the 5th one is what? The truth is so subjective, so subtle, so it is so tough even to intellectually apprehend. Only after apprehending intellectually, then we sit on the seat of meditation, in which, while trying to reach to the self, all the not self is thrown away, which is so heavy, so difficult. That is why many people don't even try. Those who try, they are with excitement for some distance, they go. After going to some distance, then see the difficulty of the Adhyatmika, especially of this Vedanta Vichara. Therefore, they give up and they take up other Bhakti Marga, Yoga Marga, Bhajan Marga, Kirtan Marga, जिसमें प्रसाद भी मिलता है, कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है, कोई कॉन्टेम्पलेट करने की जरूरत नहीं, कोई त्याग करने की जरूरत नहीं. In that things they enter, and in that illusory happiness of doing the spiritual sadhana, they are in. Although it is also not bad. Maybe that only slowly again in the next attempt or opportunity or the life helps them to further walk for some more miles. And then again the life, then maybe in this way, God guides every of the bhakta or jiva or sadhaka. In our case also. Let us be very clear about all these and then never give up. Never get demoralized by listening or seeing in our life that ever to regularly come to class itself is becoming tough to us. Even sitting in the class consistently, every thought we don't listen. And when we listen to the thought and referring to the book, trying to contemplate also उतनी ताकत नहीं है. तो ये सारे हमको पिकअप पैच अप करना है. Every of the holes or loopholes we have to keep on covering. That is why lives and lives and lives it takes. All said and done, as I am saying every day to myself, we say he is my guru and I am his disciple. But what is the meaning of guru? What is the meaning of shishya? What is the meaning of guru bhakti? Sharanagati to the guru. Meaning तक ही हमको नहीं पता. प्रैक्टिस कब करना, रियली वो अनुभव में कब आना कि आई एम हिज डिसाइपल पक्का. And it is not I who have to claim that I am his disciple. It is the Guru who has to acknowledge that yes, I have agreed, you are my disciple. Then the real Guru Shakti comes to us through his words and removes the thorns and nails of ignorances. Therefore, why we have to discuss all this is a long way to go. Have patience and faith, and if possible, wherever you can add to sadhana, enhance the sadhana, and reduce the sadhana disturbing involvements, etc. That much good for us to grow. Another thing is what? Have you first of all decided you want to know the self, the truth, and realize the moksha anubhava? Or you are happy just to listen outside, but predominantly I'm a worldly person only with all my worldly ambitions. It itself is a very tough thing to crack. That my ambition is no more anything of this world or the other world. My ambition is no more anything other than Paramatma, like the Nachiketa or Prahlada. Has it come to us? Please, only an Nachiketa and Prahlada will succeed in their sadhana, and every one of us, if not today, other day, we have to come to their level of one side, total vairagya to everything other than Paramatma, other side, total strongest desire only for Paramatma. You know, कोई मंदिरों में ना गुफा में होते हैं. People may come in helicopters, they may come in their own very costly cars or different modes. But finally, when they have to enter to have darshan of that Bhagavan or Bhagavati, they have to go through that gufa only. Finally, nobody can be spared at that level. From your own home, when you came, you might have come in different ways. In the same way, here also, whatever the sadhanas everyone are doing, ultimately everybody will have to come to level of that Nachiketa or Prahlada, where other than Bhagavan, nothing is wanted, Bhagavan alone is wanted. That is the end gateway. That is the final, what do you say, step or the hall or the gate we have to cross. Then only Bhagavad Darshan, which takes a lot. See, having Bhagavan Sakshat Darshano standing in front of him in the temple is no anyway, any day is most diviner than watching that Bhagavan in the screen, in the line, or watching the Bhagavan in live TV, or somebody take a video and send to. ये सब आपके प्रत्यक्ष अनुभव के समान तो नहीं होते ना. In the same way, like Nachiketa and Prahlad, with intense longing only to have the darshan of Bhagavan, when we are blessed by the Bhagavan before that the Guru Padesha, the Anubhava which comes, that is unparalleled, that alone Mukti. That's called as Yat Sakshat Avarokshat Brahma. That is what we will be seeing in few of the further shlokas. That is what Sri Ramachandra is teaching Hanumanji today. That is what you are going to listen tomorrow morning from the words of Sri Trishanku, great Rishi. Aham vrukshasya reriva, kirtihi prashtam gireriva, urdhva pavitro vajaniva samrtamasmi, dravinagam savarchasam sumeda amrutokshita. Each of the word of ecstasy of his self-realization. Iti Trishankor Vedanu Here also we will see in 20th chapter. So too in Adhyatma Ramayana, today we can see Hanumanji start by Rama about the three Atma in that which is ultimate real, which is illusory. And that has to be Pratyaksha Rupena, we have to have Anubhava. Before that, Dhyana Sadhana. Before that, contemplation. Before that, the clear understanding. Before that, information. Guru gives information without losing that information en route. Take home and do the Manana Chintanam of that, then it becomes understanding. Make the Manana Chintana understanding more stronger through contemplation. Take the contemplation into meditational level, there, transcending all the in between layers of ignorances, fears, or whatever you call them, transcending all of them, lo, there we are in front of our own self. Just to merge in that as if merging is what? Just removal of the curtain of avidya, where I say I am not this. That avidya is removed, that I am not this is replaced by I am this. That's all. I am this or I am that. I am that. मैं वो हूँ. Time लगता है, not as easy as said. Okay, now we are seeing in this Bhagavad Mahapuranam, 20th chapter of 11th Skandha, Bhagavan started answering Sri Uddhavji's Prashna. And right now only we will tell you his Prashna and answer. Prashna is what? Who is the Samsari? Answer is only this much. At the Aviveka Sthai or level, you are the Samsari, and at the Viveka Sthai, you are the Mukta. Clear? At the level of non-discrimination, therefore getting lost in the upadhis, with variety of tadatmya, you and I only are samsara. At the highest, deepest, closest to discrimination level, viveka level, in which we discover that self alone is there as substratum, in the absence of the or ignorance of the self only, the not self is imagined and it is projected on the self. When this sublime viveka and jnana comes, you are mukta. Is it not? The one who is seeing the snake is samsari because of aviveka. And the one who does viveka with the help of the Guru Padesha, Guru is the one who saw the rope as rope, therefore he knows there is no snake at all. From the Upadesha of the Guru, when I also do viveka, as I apprehend and come to the Pratyaksha Sparsha and Anubhuti of the rope as rope, then only the bandhana of the snake goes away. So the snake bandhana, samsara bandhana is in me, the moksha also is in me. Clear? Bhagavan started explaining now to Uddhava's question, and every shloka is so pregnant, so powerful, so detailed and so deep for even to collect the data from them and taking that and trying to contemplate. We are struggling here to understand and explain to you. You also, Vichara, are struggling to listen and trying to catch the information. Let us continue. For all of us, the Guru Parampara is there. They brought us up to this level. And if not today, one of the days, definitely they not only give us the subtle intellect to understand the deeper meaning hidden in the shlokas, they also give us conviction, willingness to reject all the upadhi, eject out of the jiva samsara and projections and enter into our own self. Clear? Now the answer, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yavat Dehendriya Prana Pranaihi Atmanah Sannikarshanam samsarah phalavan tavat aparthopya vivekinah. What a clear-cut explanation here. If only we fully with focused intellect understand, we get the understanding or answer. So, yavat dehendriya pranaihi, as long as with the deha, indriya, prana, indriya means all the 14 indriyas I told you, with all these 14, yavat, as long as atmanaha, which atma? The pure self only. Sannikarshanam, the proximity is there. Tavat, what happened? Tavat, samsara phalavan, the samsara comes so. Aparthopi, even though it is in reality not there, avivekinaha, who is not able to do the atmanatma viveka. So, aviveka brought I, the self, very closer to upadhis, or brought the upadhis very closer to me. What is the meaning of upadhis coming closer to me, I becoming closer to the upadhi? Because aviveka is these three words which we said, either aham with the upadhi, or mama with the upadhi, or mahyam with the upadhi. Okay, this is first. First, when I became aham mama with the aham mama or mahyam relation, first I get identified with the upadhi. Thereafter, the entire show is of entire world of Shaddha Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha and the Vyakti Vishesha, and with all of them, every type of relativity, every type of raga dveshadi, every type of involvement. Total samsara. And yavat is the word important. As long as this way you as a self or proximity with the upadhi, you the self only became upadhi sambandita jiva, who has got samsara. We told yesterday the example of the naukari. As long as you are in the job, you are in samsara, going on time, etc. Once you are retired or resigned, you have no more that botheration. So to give the example of the father through the child, or the man through the husband, all those through the wife as an husband, the examples have to be many and times contemplated to catch this point. And the crux is what? Theoretically, theoretically, intellectually, what? I am eternally liberated self in reality. But right now, I am bound jiva suffering. What are the suffering? I told you, birth and death. In between them, doing papa and punya as karta, and getting dukkha and sukha as bhokta. All this drama in me happening because of the upadhi proximity, sannikas. This I have to firmly understand. And this understanding should always remain in us. Then we should understand, therefore, now to experience the mukta anubhuti of my own self, I have to get out of jiva bhava. And jiva bhava I can get out only when the upadhi tadatma is transcended. These things have to be fixed. There should never be any alteration or editing of this information. It cannot be otherwise. What it cannot be otherwise? That explanation that this is how the Atma Tattva became samsari jiva and suffering. And the explanation that this is how the samsari jiva can withdraw from upadhi to identify with the Atma Tattva and get mukti. In these sentences, please, let us not try to make any editing. You may not attempt for it. You may not like it. You may not believe it. That is your personal. But don't try to alter that. Don't try to change that. Because that is wrong thing. It will not going to fetch you anything. So, in our layman's language, so simple. I, the liberated self, is suffering the jiva bhava because of my own proximity with the upadhis. I, the jiva, the one who is suffering because of proximity upadhi, can be the non-suffering mukta atma anubhava, mukta ananda swarupa when I free myself from the upadhis. Then the lot of discussions where from the upadhis came, from how long this is happening, how to eliminate that. These are all the subsequent details which are also equally essential. And the solution is told here. Whatever number of years we spend in Shastra Dhanam, all that should lead to one result, that I should become Viveki. What is the Viveka? Not many, only four Vivekas. Viveka 1, I am Atma. Viveka 2, because of proximity with the Upadhi, I became Jiva. Viveka 3, when I detach from the Upadhi, I become liberated. Viveka 4, really detach from the Upadhi and remain as the self. That's it. So जब तक ये चारों विवेक नहीं करेंगे, then it is an aviveka. At that time, upadhi sannikarsanam, then upadhi sannikarsanam is all these three things. Then entire samsara, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, sukha dukkha goes on. Now, how many times we have to contemplate on this to really feel that we are understanding it. Then the belief in that, then the strong faith in that belief. Then therefore, anyway, any day, I have to get out of the jiva samsara bandha and get to my self experience. Even to come to this thought that through the experience of my actual self, I want to get liberated from the jiva bhava, in which the sadhana is to get out of the upadhi. That itself is a big, big leap, because हमको उपाधियों के द्वारा मिलने वाले लौकिक सुख भोगों को छोड़ने का आदत ही नहीं, छोड़ने का इच्छा ही नहीं. It is like that. You can't leave your other interactions in the world and do our sadhana only exclusively. कहाँ हो रहा है? कितना fear होता है अंदर. The first fear is, can I sustain without being a jiva through upadhis in the world? हमें अपने existence का ही doubt होता है. That is why some years when we listen that I am Sat Swarupa, Sat Swarupa, Sat Swarupa, not the superimposed name and form on the Sat. This practice only gives me the ability, strength first of all, or the readiness first of all in me, that therefore as a Sat I will remain, not as the Rupa Nama imposed on the Sat. That thought will come. It's like with anybody you live for some time, you will feel that I can't live without that person. After that, for some reason or the other, you start leaving that person. After a few years, you will know that that person is non-existing in your life. It can be your own father, mother. When they die, how painful it is. But after some months, yaad bhi nahi aate log. It can be anybody. In the same way, for millions of years, I am living and practicing as Nama Rupa Jiva. Now, intellectually, I have to apprehend and practice for some time. Namarupa is Mithya, Sat is Satya, that Sat is me. As a Sat, I am all pervading. Therefore, as a Sat, I am not conditioned. Therefore, being Sat is infinite bliss. So, इस thought को बहुत बार बोलते बोलते रहने से, if that is the case, then let me remain as Sat. To remain as Sat, I have to withdraw from my Rupa Nama. That time we will start sadhana. But for us now, being in Sat without a particular Upadhi Yukta Jiva appears to be, what do you say, not beautiful or not joyful. क्योंकि उपाधियों से जो छोटा छोटा सुख रस मिल रहा है ना हमको, वही मजा आ रहा है. So these are very very finer shackles. एक को काटो और एक को काटो और एक आते ही रहते हैं. But as it will be told after 4 shlokas, everywhere when I have the strongest, sharpest sword of Viveka and Vairagya, I'll cut asunder all those shackles, keep on moving. विवेका और वैराग्य वाला ये जो मेरे अंदर तलवार है, असंग शस्त्रेण दृढ़ेन चित्वा, इन द 15th chapter, और चित्वा एनम संशयम ज्ञान असिना in the 4th chapter ending of Gita. Here after 4-5 shlokas, Krishna himself is going to tell, see, if you have a powerful enough weapons, है ना, ब्रह्मास्त्र की तरह, आप किससे नहीं डरोगे, you know you will be victorious. So the powerful weapon of Viveka and Vairagya. When these two are there, the swords, any number of shackles come, you will cut, you will keep on moving. These all the internal struggle journeys called spirituality. Huh? So far we thought spirituality में थोड़ा जप करो, कोई पूजा करो, कोई मत्था टेको, कोई प्रसाद ले लो, थोड़ा सा भगवान का गुणगान सुनो, कीर्तन करो. These are all बच्चे लोगों के हैं वो सारे. Studying the Shastras deeply, understanding them thoroughly, living up to the teachings that are given, thus transcending the Jiva Bhava by transcending Tadatma Vidupadi and apprehending the self. This is real Adhyatmikata. In this alone, Mukti is there. Not in all other. They're all okay. That's how everybody starts. Like, everybody, A for Amma, B for brother, you can do. But understanding the big, big poetry is very sublime. Of the Shelley's, Keats, or whatever, I never studied her. Then yourself composing poetry, that is real literature. Not just I know alphabets. Children say, when you go to the mother, then when you saw that child, he was 9 months, 10 months. After a year, you went. He has become 1.5 years. By that time, the stupid uncle and all, they taught A to ABCD, etc. to them. They say, get excited. The child also excited. Swamiji को आने दो, उनको ABCD सिखाएंगे. He doesn't know anything. The moment you land there, they put all condition before giving food. Swamiji, you must listen, my child or grandchild, he learned ABCD. Then he chants out ABCD, then I have to say and I have to clap and everything. I have to express on my face that he is greater than Mahakavi Kalidas. Is it not? Then only they give food. That is really your child by this age of 17, 18, he learned ABCD. He says A for apple, B for ball, C for chamcha. All that. But is that the knowledge of the language? How much is there to learn ahead? In the same way, with small little outer things, like a child, most of us, every hour, get satisfied. And one day we die, only to be born again in the same way. But only few of us have that thinking that ये तो काफी नहीं है ABCD पढ़कर. So to ये तो काफी नहीं है, हमको शास्त्र पढ़ना है, अध्ययन करना है, चिंतन मननम, lift myself to such a dhyana avastha. That is why dhyana avastita tad gatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. That is Lord Krishna, whom the yogis see in the cave of their heart when their mind dissolves in the avastha of the dhyana. यस्यांतम न विदुसुरासुरगणाः तस्मै देवाय परब्रह्म कृष्ण रूप परब्रह्मणे नमो नमः. Now, once you come to this type of listening, this type of understanding, this type of study, what help you can do to yourself if you want. Whom I have to compel you is never go back to the lower studies, lesser studies, we can't say lower, lesser understandings, lesser practices. We have to do the greater and higher only, more and more. It is only till it becomes habit, it appears difficult. But when you continue and make it a habit, not only it becomes easier, the rewards also are greater. The deeper, sublime knowledge is coming to us about what is real, what is unreal. When you take the unreal as unreal, you laugh at this world like a joke because nothing is real. Whether it's birth or death or disease or decay or old age or bereavements or deceptions, what nonsense. Is सब सपना है. How would be our life when we reach to that level of maturity, of zero value giving to anything that's happening in the world with thorough intellectual understanding that all that is happening illusorily, only at the surface of the mind, not in me, the real self. More than that is what, when we are apprehending, finding our identity, but that infinite self which is everywhere permeated. और उस आनंद का कोई ठिकाना है क्या? ओहो, इस तरह से धीरे धीरे. So 100 times you have to chant this shloka till get into the crux of it very deeply. Yavat dehendriya prananaihi atmanah sannikarsanam tavat samsara phalavan apartopi avivekinah. Is it not? Tavat samsara phalavan tavat apartah avivekinah. So when I don't initiate my viveka and take it to the highest level, till that time, I the self, I mean proximity with the upadhis, with these three words of aham, mama and mahyam, take up myself as a jiva and suffer. Through the viveka, and what is viveka? Yesterday we explained. Drashta drishya viveka, atma anatma viveka, vanda moksha viveka, jada chetana viveka, aneka eka viveka, nashvara anashvara viveka. Is it not? And all of them are there. Like I am imperishable when the upadhis are perishing. I am changeless when the upadhis are changing. I am the seer where the upadhis are seen. I am one seer, upadhis are many. I don't depend on them, they depend on me. With so many differences, how can I be them? In this Viveka, suddenly one day, that knot which is knot which is tying me to the Upadhi just gets cut. The moment it is cut, I know I am Drukswarupa or Drashta, I have no relation with them. That is called realization. Later on, you stay in yourself for some time, then you inquire from that standpoint into the upadhis which were earlier binding me as jiva. Either we find the upadhis are not at all there, or we find myself only with my own maya shakti appearing as these upadhis again to bind me only as a jiva. Both are same. Either upadhis are not there or they are not other than me. Final thing is all Dehendriya Manobuddhi also the pure self only imagined or projected through Maya for a definite purpose of Vyavahara. A Jivan Mukta for Vyavahara uses Upadhi. A Baddha gets bound through Upadhi. Jivan Mukta is the one who knows his self. And the Baddha is real self, he doesn't know. Through the Upadhi, he considers himself Jiva. He doesn't know that he is living a life of Jiva. He doesn't even know that he is Jiva suffering. He doesn't know even that as suffering as Jiva coming because of Upadhi. He doesn't even know that these are the Upadhis that are there. Because they never studied our Shastras, Vedanta. They know. No, but none of us, out of your 200 relatives, how many have studied this? You are the only one. Out of your 500 friends, दो चार होंगे. Nowadays, lot of Mahatmas are talking. Maybe number of people will be listening. But how many of them are taking it sincerely, seriously? Is it not? What is our status in that? Just like that. Only these are all senses. Just to do the calculation. It has no purpose other than that. So, yavat dehendriya pranaihi atmanah sannikarshanam तावत् संसार फलवान तावत् संसारः संसार फलवान तावत् अपार्थः भी अविवेक. अपार्थ मीन्स रियलिटी नहीं है संसार में. Like dukkha, seeing the snake is not at all real, should not be real, but really you suffer the dukkha because of seeing the snake. What is the seeing of snake? Being very proximity with the snake, snake's notion. Why? Because avivek. When you do the viveka, the notion of the snake goes away. Along with that, the samsara, the dukkha of seeing snake, fear, etc. gone. See, दुख नहीं है, नहीं होना चाहिए, है हो रहा है. किसको देखकर? सांप को, जो नहीं है. और हाया कहाँ से? अविवेक से. क्यों? विवेक करे तो चला जाता. This we exhaustively studied in Mandukya, so I need not explain to you. Why do you say, Swamiji, through discrimination, because of non-discrimination, the snake is there, non-inquiry? Because when you inquire with right means, the snake goes away. Therefore, why the snake is there? Because of non-inquiry. Snake is not there, please. Snake is in our perception. What is there is always no. So I am always the self. Now I am a jiva, non-discriminating. Therefore, identify the upadhis and sufferings, janma, marana, sukha, dukkha, and all. So, I myself, when I take up the words given in the Shastra and inquire into my own real essential self, then when through that inquiry, when I come to apprehend my real self, the unreality will go away. Like I told you, I'm a man. I'm not a husband. Husband through the wife. So whenever the wife scolds, fights, you have always chance to suffer, hurry as a husband, or withdraw yourself and enter into a man. You need not tell her that. You tell her that I'm not your husband, I'm a man now, you can't do anything. She will give red tooth, do jada degi. Unnecessary. Why take this inside? Outside, keep the frowning face as ever. Inside, like that's a defense kavacha, so that she can withdraw her weapons. The Russia withdrawing her weapons. But inside, I am conditioned as husband to wife, therefore I suffer. And that is there as prarabdha. It goes on. And wife, not only she gives trouble, she gives all the prema, all the seva also. So जहाँ दुख है वहीं सुख है, जहाँ सुख है वहीं दुख है. ये सब प्रारब्ध है. In the same way, I am the self. Because of my prarabdha, I am into these upadhis. As long as the prarabdha is there, I will be the upadhi. And those upadhis, definitely you want or not, will give sukha dukkha even to a saint's body. But the saint's difference is what between him and us? He has discovered his essential self. You and I also, if we discover, we also are at the same level. But it's a slow, steady process. Slowly, steadily we do, it happens. No doubt at all. Nobody can stop our mukti if we can consistently pursue it through this Viveka Vairagyadi, through the Dhyana Adi. Okay? Now the next shloka you take, this is also in continuation the earlier one. This came 2, 3, 4 chapters pehle, exactly, literally, physically the shloka lifted from there, copy paste किया इधर. हमने उस दिन पढ़कर आपको दिखाया कि वहां भी था, इधर भी था. Today this shloka is in 28th chapter, shloka number 13. Same was there in a earlier discussion where I can't discuss now. It is find for you. किधर होगा वो? यहाँ भी है. In the 55 shloka of 23. अर्तेह विद्यमानेऽपि संस्कृतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा. This is 23rd chapter 55 and 28th chapter 13th shloka. Now, this also worth seriously taking, worth seriously contemplating for having the correct understanding. Thereafter which seriously, sincerely, when we abide in that knowledge, truly the bondage gets reduced. More and more we need, ultimate liberation is only in knowing ourselves as it is. See, ultimate mukti is once we become one with Paramatma. Before that, so many layers of bandhanas are there. Each one of them you cut, that much bandhana goes away. But only in the Atma Jnana, the sambhavana or possibility for the further bandhana goes away. If Atma Jnana is not gained, how much your bandhana cutting you do, again it will relapse. There is a chance for relapsing it. Therefore, each of the bandhana we cut asunder with our maturity in daily sadhanas. And our goal is not only to cut these bondages, our goal is not to get bound again. That's possible when I get back to myself. Like in the dream, where every difficulty you may approach somebody to sort out those difficulties. But again they go on coming. How do you end all the difficulties of dream? Only when you wake up. When you wake up, then there's no chance of going back to the dream and dream problems. So too, when I wake up to my own real self, there's no chance again. Till that time, I may sort out problems, that one, but again it will come, again it will come. Therefore, our laksha is not to struggle with upadhi only, though we have to do in the beginning, not to get ejected out of the jiva bhava because upadhi tadatmya, even though we talk in this language only in the beginning stage of sadhana, but ultimately our goal is to discover our identity in experience with our own real essential Atma self. So finally, Aham Brahmasmi alone is Mukti. That's why our channel is Aham Brahmasmi Chinmayam Divine. A, B, C, D. Now, shloka chanting 3 times. Have patience. I am having it. Though I am more in a hurry than you to finish the text and take one. But I feel these 28 chapter मेरे तो जरूरी है deeply समझना, इसलिए धीरे धीरे जाएंगे. So sometimes I confess all these things for your kindness, so that you can continuously give me a chance to think loudly. Now chant it thrice. अर्थे ह्यविद्यमाने मे संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा. अर्थे ह्यविद्यमानेऽपि संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेनर्थागमो यथा. अर्थे ह्यविद्यमानेऽपि संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य संश्रुतिर्न निवर्तते. I tell you to explain this shloka to you. I don't know how. I have to pray to the Lord to give me the vocabulary, the sentences, the grammar to explain you, for making it easily understandable to you without confusion. But इतना important है ये श्लोक. Outer sentence is very simple, the literal meaning. But literal meaning, like the true translation, is never going to give us knowledge. We have to go deep into that. In the contemplative mood and thorough understanding, that only helps us. So the literal meaning is this. What is what? Artehi avidyamane api. Arte avidyamane means even though that object is not there. Yet samsrutirna nivartate, never ends samsara to this person. Even though snake is not there, never ends the bhaya dukkha to him. See the tragedy of that. Like the child so gets frightened when the doctor is giving injection. इंजेक्शन चिल्ड्रन के लिए उनके पास अलग होते हैं. दे गिव सो लाइटली कि दुख होता ही नहीं हो. दे नो इट हाउ टू डू सो मच ऑफ साइंस डेवलप्ड. बट द चाइल्ड इज सो मच फ्राइटेड. वी आल्सो थ्रू आउट लाइफ. सो अर्थे अविद्यमाने मीन्स जिस दुखादि संसार का कारण है, जो वस्तु जगत के वो नहीं होने के बावजूद भी हमको दुख दे रहे. फर्स्ट सेंटेंस यू मास्टर इट फर्स्ट. अर्थे अविद्यमानेपि संस्कृति न निवर्तते. Continues. Though the snake is not there, fear continues. Dukkha continues. So too, though the entire upadhis and the world not there, still the limitation conditionings through the upadhi leading to the sukha dukkha samsara never goes away. Point 1. 2. Second sentence, second line. Why and how long? This is dhyayato vishayan asya. So who is the culprit? The mind. What way it is becoming culprit? It is continuously, constantly, with all its murkhata and conviction, doing the dhyana of the Vishaya. Only in the mind, the Vishaya dhyana is the cause of the continuous samsara, even though object is not there. So therefore, the Vishaya Astitva is Manas Sankalpa. विषय के साथ संपर्क मनः संकल्प. Then the विषय के प्रति राग द्वेष मनः संकल्प. The raga dvesha not fulfilled, then becoming dukhi is I who is in contact or ownership with this sankalpa yukta mana. Think about it. Arte vidyamane me. That is why in Vedanta, one of the very highest leap or reaching achievement is what? Understanding this truth and not talking about it loudly outside. That entire world is in our own mind. Coming to this conviction is such a greatest stage. Convincingly. ना स्वामी ने कहा हमने सुन लिया, हम भी कहने लगे आज से ये पूरा दुनिया मन में है. Not that way. That is child's prattle. Every child will repeat whatever you say. Not that way. Coming to the conviction with all the logics that in the nidra there is no mind, there is no jagat. Only when I am waking up, the jagat is, my mind is coming from the mind only, because the mind only world is there. In this way, for some years, continuously when you contemplate, then the conviction comes, the whole world is in my own antakarana. Then only, instead of sorting out the issues outside, we sort out them in the mana. And you see, for surprise, in the mind, when you sort out the problems or things outside, there is nothing to be sorted out. Like I have any problem with you. All the problem I have with you, if I think it is outside, I try to change you. I try to modify you. I try to educate you. I try to help you. I try to convince you. And do you think you listen to me? है ना? वो delusion तो खत्म हो गया. Instead of that, when I understand in me, either you say that you are a separate individual with your own likes, dislikes, prarabdha, you are a jiva, co-traveler, how can I have any contact, relation, authority on you? With this way also, I set my mind. Or the positive way, that like I am also ignorant in my own mind, they are also ignorant, they behave, therefore forgive. In whatever the way I sort out in the mind, there is no problem. Just like every matured wife. She knows this husband cannot be changed, so she goes on accepting. She accepts. That's the solution because she understood he cannot be changed. It's actually solution. What is the solution? Not trying to change the outer world. What is the non-arrival of another problem? In the mind, getting detached from everything. धीरे धीरे ये झटके से नहीं लगता है, धीरे धीरे लगता है, ये बात है. And while doing so, never ever misuse this knowledge to behave abnormally in the outer world. ये caution है. बाहर जैसे पहले थे वैसे ही रहना, ये जन्म पूरा, लेकिन अंदर ज्ञान बढ़ाते रहना. फिर जब इस जन्म का प्रारब्ध हो जाएगा, अगले जन्म में इस ज्ञान को यूज करने वाला वो वाला देह हमको मिलेगा, तब यूज करना. In this life, your inner Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, if you try to use it in front of your children or wife or parents, they will kick you out of the house. You are ready to get kicked, you do that experiment. You can't talk this to the outer world. You go to the office, so you can't say, Ham Brahmasmi Sarva Mityas, the entire files and world is in my own mind, there was nothing real. ये मूर्खता नहीं करना. वहाँ there is an office, there is an officer, you have a post, there's your chair, there are your files, all that you have to do that. And it is not contradiction, it's not Baharupya. The outer Vyavahara, outer Prarabdha is like that only. That is why Narutam cha, Satyam cha, Tapaha, Damaha. ये सब करने को कहा शास्त्र ने, छोड़ने को थोड़ी कहा. But at the same time, Swadhyaya Pravachane, again tomorrow or day after we will see. Vedamanuchacharyonte vasinamanushasti satyamada dharmam chara. Rishi is telling, Veda are telling. So outer things should continue the same, inner the knowledge should become deeper and deeper. And the one of the beautiful thing is, everything is in the mind. You are in my own mind. You about you, whatever understanding is there, it is in my own mind. Is it not? According to that, whatever I have attachment or aversion towards you, again it is my own mind. Then I project that on you and I try to behave differently, and that never matches with you. Whenever it matches, I think what I thought is right. It is not what I thought is right. It by mistake got coincided. But otherwise, you can never be the same who is in my mind. My mind, you and you are totally always different. You are outside. Your impression in my mind is different. But it is different. This discrimination we are never able to do. हम अपने मन में इमेजिन करके उसको दूसरे के ऊपर थोप कर ऐसा ही होना चाहिए सोचते हैं, जबकि हो नहीं सकता. Like whatever I want you to be, even if you try to be like that, you can't be, because you have your own different prarabdha and all. It is an unnecessary struggle. That's why no guru tells any disciple that way to change according to his choice. He says change according to your own required sadhana. Not for my saying. तुम अपने लिए अंदर बदलो बस. Anyway, now the point is understood. First line, Arthe hi avidyamane pe. Even though the inner antakarana, outer world are in reality not there, yet samsara na nivartate. How many lives, sir? What are you talking of lives? Mahapralayas come and go. Thousands of Brahma Devas with their Mahakalpa Ayurdayam also come and go. Yet our samsara will not go away. Even though the cause of samsara called as outer upanama and inner upadhis are in reality not there. How is it happening, sir? What is that jadoo? Dhyayato Vishayanasya. Because of the thinking in the mind of the Vishayas. Therefore, when I think the Vishaya, I am in samsari. Who is the Vishayi? Who is the thinker of all these thoughts? Who is the sharer of all these thoughts? When you focus on him, you will see all these upadhis and outer jagat goes away. There is no samsara. Any moment it is. You need not be highly contemplative like that. The moment right now also, you even inquire, okay, to whom is sukha or dukkha coming. In that effort, the first thing happens is you have withdrawn from the world. The moment you withdraw the world is not there. And in the inquiry of who is it, who is the aham in me, you in inquiries on aham, the manabuddhi chitta are gone, then the problems are gone. याद रखना इस बात, दुनिया सोचे तो है, सोचना बंद करे तो नहीं. बट व्हाट इज द वे ऑफ नहीं सोचना इज सेल्फ के बारे में सोचना, सोच कर करके वो सेल्फ को पकड़ना जिसके लिए सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. सोचना में थॉट, think about the self till we discover the self in such a way that the thought is not required to be the self. From that self standpoint, when you see there are no inner upadhis, there is no outer world to bind us. Although it's a big thing to understand, takes a lot of time, yet this is a fact. Uddhavaji at that highest level, so Bhagavan Krishna can teach him. And you and I also, if we had followed all the 11 skandhas so far, we would have reached to this level of understanding this. So this knowledge is valid for us also. Arte hi avidyamanepi samsrutirna nivartate dhyayato. That's why in Gita, dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate. You and I think भगवान कृष्ण spoke in a स्थूल रूपा कि कोई आइसक्रीम को सोचा तो इसलिए उसके प्रति कामना हो जाती है, देन वो मिला तो लोभ बढ़ता है, नहीं मिला तो the one who obstructed it toward that the krodha comes, then you lose sight of your identity and the person in front, smriti bhramsha, then you do what is not to be done, therefore pranashyati. This is how we interpret. This is very superficial or the gross way of explaining, which is absolutely correct. But what is meant by Krishna at that level for a serious seeker is different. Same thing, but in a sublime, subtler internal point. What is that? Instead of being one with the conscious self, the moment you start using the upadhi called as antakarana, and in its using, the moment you start doing sankalpa, immediately the reality to the upadhi and reality to the objects which are in the vritti start happening, then you are entering into samsara. And what we are doing throughout our life, till from birth till now, what we are doing ourselves by choice and what we are told to be done by the parent, by the school, by teacher, everybody. How many of them told, Bhai, do the dhyana of the Atma and be one with Atma? How many told us? Not even one. And everybody told, do the dhyana of only an Atma or the Vishayas. And we are in that whirlpool only of dhyana of the Vishayas. Then the Samskriti is coming. Remember, the main line is what? Artehi avidyamane. Even the earlier also aparthopi. अपार्थ मीन्स हकीकत में नहीं है, फिर भी सोचने के कारण वो सब रियल लग रहा है. This is a very big understanding. From the self standpoint, he is saying, what is the self? That is said in Upanishad Shabdas as Sat Chit Ananda. In the pure gold, there are no ornaments. You have imagined the ornament, therefore the ornament appeared on the gold. Ornament creates samsara, not the gold. Where is the ornament? Is there in the gold ornament in reality? No. Gold is unconditioned by any of the ornamentation on it. And that will be told in the 4-5 slokas later. Before the ornament is made, during it is staying as ornament or seen as ornament or taken as ornament, after you melt it as an ornament and see it as gold. And all the 3 levels, gold is gold. So to I am the self. What is the culprit? Not being in the self. Immediately the Maya comes as the mind. Mind's only job is to do the sankalpa, and it does the sankalpa or dhyana of the Vishaya. Immediately on the self only Vishayas are superimposed. And we are caught up in that. This shloka and this earlier one ये वाला, ये यहाँ से लेकर every shloka, why I have to say one or two, or I tell you, for a true serious sincere seeker, इससे बढ़कर खजाना नहीं, इससे बढ़कर कीमती चीज नहीं है, इससे बढ़कर निधि कोई नहीं, एक ज्ञान निधि है, a data for us to contemplate and come to the understanding of the self deeply and the understanding about the illusoriness of the world. The moment you know that, there is no bondage. Like when I told you, like you all are in my own mind. Once I understand, I have freed myself from all my samsara with all of you. Though to establish in that, I need some years of practice. Is it not? Because other earlier practices will tempt me to live in such a way as if you are outside. And outside, vyavahara to required bhi hai according to vyavahara. Outside interaction to required as per the required vyavahara. And I have to talk to you, I have to say how are you and all. ये फॉर्मेलिटी होता ही है. इसके बिना मैं बोल के जाऊँ, बातें नहीं करूँ आपसे, फिर then our relation will not be good, then you will stop coming to class. If you are also param vairagi, in fact you are more vairagi than me, I know. जब तक शरीर है, व्यवहार में प्रारब्ध के अनुसार इंटरेक्शन तो होता है ना, वो करते हुए भी to come to the idea that you are in me as thoughts in my mind, and anything about you also is my own projection of the mind, and therefore I should not struggle with you outside. I have to manage you in my mind. In that also, what is that? You are in my mind is my own self. So therefore, who are you? My own self. These simple sentences, when they become deep experiences, you are realized. That's the sadhana. वेदांत इतना ही कहते हैं, जो कुछ भी तुम ही हो. You yourself through the mind is the world other than you. आप ही आपके मन के द्वारा, मन is Maya. I myself with my own mind or Maya appearing as the entire world. But this is a very high level sentence. This will be applied and experienced only when I get detached from you. My detachment to you is only when some lives I do your seva without any expectation. That's all the Runa Bandhana I cut. Then I detach from my own upadhis. Then I discover the self. Then from that standpoint, there is nobody other than me. If at all it is there, it is me only in those forms. So, arte vidyamane me. Don't talk all this outside. People don't deserve this higher knowledge. Either they laugh at you or if they take it, they misuse it. And you and I also slowly we have to progress. This is told to Uddhav at the 29th chapter, not in the chapter 3, 4, 5. यहाँ बता अर्थे हविद्यमाने पी. And the examples are, snake is not there, but fear है कि नहीं? Why when snake is not there, still fear is there? Because you think the snake is there. And where is the snake? In your own mind. What is there in reality? Only rope. This is a very sublime vicharana of the Vedanta. To a jnani, it's a rope, and to me, it's a snake. Where is a snake? It has never come. I told you, snake never came from anywhere. Rope never became snake. Rope is always rope. The prapancham never came from anywhere. And the Atma never became the prapancham. And then where is the prapancham then? This is not alata shanti. You understand? The alata shanti mein, if you really are thorough in your listening those days, the moment I give the example, you must be catching it. When the mashal is moved, variety of shapes came. Where from those seen shapes came? They didn't have their own independent existence. They have never come from anywhere else, nor they are in the fire. And fourth one is what? Though they are seen, those shapes, alata, variety of the things, dirgha and all of them, there is no stuff or matter in them. In fact, that they are there और उस मैटर को इंक्वायर करना चाहे, मैटर भी नहीं हुआ, फिर भी वो एक्सप्रेस किया. So all the abhasas are because alata movement too. Those abhasas of dirgha and chaturasra are existing in their own absence. So too, Entire world is in the movement of the mana. Therefore, the world is existing in its own absence. That's why when the mind is made still, there is no world, there is no mind. What is there is self. Therefore, self, because of ignorance, made vibrant, appears as the mind. Mind, because of some reason, made spandita is the world. In that, the world of seen and the seer. बिकॉज तमाशा होने के लिए सीयर सीन देना होना चाहिए नहीं कि नहीं कोई नाटक होना करने वाले होना है स्टेज में देखने वाला होना है कोई देखने वाला नहीं हो कोई नाटक कर रहा है इट इज लाइक माई लेक्चर आई गिव समटाइम नन ऑफ यू आर देयर और ऑल द पीपल आर देयर देखने वाला कोई आ ही नहीं रहा स्टेज में इन द सेम वे द वर्ल्ड इज नथिंग बट सीयर एंड सीन सीयर एंड सीन बोथ आर प्रोजेक्शन ऑफ द माइंड mind's spandana creates seer and seen. Whereas mind itself is unreal from the self standpoint. Where from the mind came Maya. Manasam to ki marne kurte, naiva manasam mar gaya javad. That is what our Drugdusha Viveka people were studying last 10-12 days. The three words of Avarana, Vikshepa, Aropana. They are going to come again in the next 5-6 shlokas. Now, sentence is so simple. Arte avidyamane samstita nivartate yavad dehendri. That's what now. Samstita nivartate ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्ने अर्थान अनर्थागमय था. लगता है कि शब्द हम समझे, लेकिन how much deeply you have to contemplate to catch what the Guru Lord Krishna trying to teach. For this, the example is given as Swapne Anarthagamo Yata. What a beautiful example this is, In the Swapna, we have Anartha happened. It can be drowning in the water, got caught up in an accident, maybe a fire happened, or somebody has beaten us red and blue, or we have lost in our business. All is called as Anartha Dukkha. So, the Dukkha cause of the friend troubling me or cheating me, or the government troubling me or cheating me, or somebody beating me. These are all the causes of dukkha in the samsara, in the sapna. Are they any one of them real? They were real when you are in dream. When you wake up, the dukkha, anartha, along with its cause, all of them were not there. Then where the dukkhi personality and the dukkha causes and the dukkha were there, are they all not projected from the waking mind? My own mind, no. My dream is not from your mind. Your dream is not from my mind. मेरा जो सपना तो मेरा ही था. ऐसा थोड़ी कहते उठने के बाद भाई तुम्हारे मन ने मेरे मन में क्या बढ़िया ड्रीम बनाया, ऐसा थोड़ी कहते हैं मेरे अंदर. It is my own mind. So when I wake up, the dreamer me, the dream world, through interaction, dream anartha, all of them are not there when you wake up. But in the dream, have they not appeared to be real? You can even imagine that. You गाड़ी चला रहे एकदम एक्सीडेंट हो गया, खून पसीना हो गया, हाथ पे टूटे. Luckily somebody took us. We were admitted in the hospital. All the checked. Then it was found that 2 legs fractured. You can go through all that, and suddenly you wake up and see, "Hare, hatta katta." Every day we are getting one or the other dream. None of the dreams are real. In the same way. And this one again, Drugdusha Viveka, Antakarana Vrittischa, Chitichaya Kimagata, Vasana Kalpet Swapne, Bodhekshai Vishan Vahi, Manoham Krutipadanam, Lingamaikum Jadatmagam, Avastatre Manveti, Jayate Mrete Tatha. These 2 shlokas in the Drugdusha Vivekam, shloka 7 and 8, so important. It sorts out if you can understand deeply. Here also, contemplate on that. Don't take on the surface value, because Krishna said, Bhagavata said, or I said, if you take the things on the strength of faith and stop there, then it won't help. Receive them on the strength of faith, but inquire on them and come to your own intellectual conviction. That intellectual conviction never gives liberation. It gives liberation only from doubts. But that intellectual conviction, when it is practiced and experienced, it's a permanent solution. So what is the literal meaning of this shloka? Arte avidyamanepi samsruti na nivartate. That is our present state. Ask the question why? Dhyayato vishayanasya. Because continuously your mind is thinking the vishayas only. Example, swapne anarthagamaha. The solution is what? Instead of doing the vishaya dhyana, do the vishayi dhyana. So the mind objectified creates samsara. Mind subjectified removes the samsara both of the world as well as the mind. So आत्मा को खोजने वाला मन जगत को छोड़कर अपने आप को भी खोकर आत्म अनुभव में बदलेगा. सेम मन अनात्म को सोच रहा है तो इट क्रिएट्स अनात्मा एज इफ इट इज रियल. इट गेट्स अस बाउंड टू दैट. So where is whole samsara? In our own mind. That's why. सोचते जाओ जन्म जन्म जन्म, you will see the world is there. Now instead of that, inquire about the self inside. The moment the self is discovered, nothing other than the self is seen. That is the jadoo there. As long as we don't see the self, self itself is projected by the mind as the continuous world. The moment self is apprehended, the projecting mind goes, the projections go away. See the importance of the examples like Swapna, like this Rajju Sarpa Bhranti. Because they give an idea, a breakthrough कि यार ऐसा भी सोच सकते हैं, ऐसा भी हो सकता होगा. Because what is the first achievement of a guru and disciple both is what? Accepting the possibility. If the guru is able to make the disciple accept the possibility, guru is succeeded. Disciple also understand, accept the possibility. What are the exceptions? Like the snake, though not there, is projected on the rope. So too, the world is projected on the self. Acceptance, not we have thoroughly investigated and came to the self and dissolved the not self and got mukti. वो तो होता रहेगा बाद में, पहले तो पहली कदम. Is it not? So the dream is worldly unreal, but in the absence of the mind waker knowledge, the dream projected. In the same way, in the absence of self experience, the mind is projecting the not self. Acceptance of this point is a beginning, it's a breakthrough. Then go on thinking, contemplating, pondering, वो हो जाएगा. धीरे धीरे ज्ञान सूक्ष्म होता रहेगा. And then as I told you in the introduction, the 5 things, the outer world, the upadhis, the vasanas, the thickness of the intellect, all of them slowly, which are the big obstructions, keep going away. To that extent, we near to the self. फर्स्ट इंटेलेक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग में, बाद में कॉन्टेम्पलेशन में, फिर एक्सपीरियंस में वी कम क्लोज टू द सेल्फ एंड गेट लिबरेटेड. ओके. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदम पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. So today also we took one shloka, धीरे धीरे, ये heavy dose वाले. In the next text also equally sublime subject. So you have to sometimes. कभी कभी होता है ना, when you are in the 10th, 11th, 12th classes in college also, school, एक ही दिन सारे टीचर इतने टफ सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाते हैं कि एक भी समझ में नहीं आता. Here also, let us study our Adhyatma Ramayana for some time.